From kings to cathedrals, the Archbishop of Canterbury has lashed out at cancel culture, warning that if people post something stupid online as a teenager, they pay for it forever. At a religious education conference in London, Justin Welby also criticised society's absolutely appalling attitude towards forgiveness, appearing to reference his own experiences of being trolled online. It comes after the Archbishop gave a passionate speech earlier this week on the Rwanda bill, which he warned will lead the nation down a damaging path. Welby accused the government of outsourcing the UK's legal and moral responsibilities, prompting an all-mighter social media pylon.
Oh, JJ.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I did.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I wouldn't claim credit for it.
For once, I actually agree with old Welbs.
Yep, me too.
I think he's right. But I do think cancel culture is kind of dying out and the pendulum's swinging the other way, because so many people who come on TV or write a column saying how they've been cancelled, they're saying it on a medium that is being viewed or read by millions of people. Yeah. Most people aren't cancelled anymore. OK, Philip Schofield kind of cancelled, but I still think he should be on television.
He'll probably come back.
He probably will come back.
Yeah, and get cancelled for a bit.
I think the point of what Welby's saying, like you, I think it's so important because in the last few years we've seen so many celebrities, sports stars, they were cricketers, they were footballers, where the minute they become famous, we, the media and everybody, trawling through everything they've ever put on Facebook, Twitter, whatever it might be, and finding stupid things that they've said, as Welby said, as a kid, as a sort of 13-year-old, that then they're having to come out and beg for forgiveness for seemingly having these very unreconstructed opinions.
These people are called offence archaeologists.
Exactly.
They delve down into the history of anyone who becomes famous to find something they posted
and it's horrible.
When they were 13 years old that was a bit silly.
Kevin, did you ever apologise for doing blackface when you were 13?
No.
Kevin never did blackface.
Oh my
when
God!
I was 13.
Did you? But I absolutely agree with Welby's sympathies. Cancel culture is a scourge and it must be cancelled. However, so I agree with him utterly on this. However, he's not one to talk. This is a man who wants statues pulled out of Canterbury Cathedral because there may be connections to slavery. This is a guy who had gravestones removed because, in one instance, because the couple who were buried next to each other, I think in a Sussex graveyard, were music hall entertainers who, in their heyday, back in the 40s or something, used to wear blackface. So this guy is a very enthusiastic proponent of cancel culture. Sure, you're absolutely right, Justin, but raise your own game, mate.
I'd quite like the Archbishop of Canterbury to kind of butt out of these things. I would like him to be the man of God that he actually is. Yeah. And for a minute, he was talking about forgiveness. I thought, oh, good, Yeah. He's coming back to core Christian concepts. No, he's talking about social media. He's been sounding off in the House of Lords this week about Rwanda. Well, it's all very well for him to say how evil the government, which he shouldn't be doing, by the way, how evil the government's policies are on immigration. He doesn't have to deal with it. He doesn't have to respond to the people of this country who are angry about immigration. He doesn't have to come up with economic or social solutions to the problem of immigration.
None of the Lords do. None of the Lords do.
He's the Archbishop and he holds forth on this stuff.
But none of the Lords do.
And I would like him to go back to his pulpit and talk about Christian concepts.
I think the argument is he's lost the moral authority to comment on anything when he is brazenly commenting on clearly politically contentious issues without himself offering an alternative. He is happy in his position as Archbishop of Canterbury, but he doesn't have to live in impoverished towns in Britain that actually have a bigger problem with immigration and issues to do with social cohesion and the pressure on public services. That's the problem.
That doesn't mean he can't have an opinion.
Oh, yes,
Esther.
it does.
No,
a broken clock was right twice a day. But I don't want to hear anything he has to say.
The church has a huge role in dealing with communities and social cohesion.
But Daisy, he's not.
And poverty.
No, he doesn't have to come up with solutions. He's not. He makes these political statements, these
say
political judgments which veer. No, they veer beyond his sphere.
What about every other Lord in the House of Lords? They don't.
Yeah, OK, that's a different. We're blowing the roles. I'm talking about him as an archbishop.
This guy is the head of our state religion. He certainly, I think, should take part in, our nation's debate. For better or for worse, we have the Lord's spiritual in the Lord. So all these bishops, including him, do have a place in that chamber. And the reason they have a place in that chamber is because their political opinions are wanted.
So what's his answer, Kev? What's his answer?
That doesn't preclude him from having an opinion.
Exactly. And if you're talking about him as a religious man, you go back to Jesus and the Sadducees and the Pharisees, it was all politics and religion. From the beginning of our religion, religion to now, that's how it's always been. It's not fair to say that because he is head of the church, he
if
can...
we're going to go down that route,
he is an abysmal Archbishop of Canterbury.
They offered an alternative way to live. If Justin Welby wants to... No, excuse me, what?
When Jesus found them selling commerce in the temple,
he threw
the tables and told them to get out. That's not an alternative answer, is it?
Yeah, that is an alternative. Don't do it.
I think the Pharisees got a bad press.
You're doing this. Do not do it.
And here endeth the lesson.
Amen.
Do you believe in God?